Now, on WISN 12 News.
A hoarder's house demolition.
I've been doing this for nearly 25 years, and I've never seen nothing like this. This thing is off the chain.
The city declared it uninhabitable. The family who lived there is still fighting to save it.
An officer suing a Dunkin' Donuts employee for spitting in his coffee cup.
It's shocking, it's disgusting, it's sickening.
Only on 12, why his lawyer says the officer was targeted.
And it's practically out of a Marvel movie, where police are using this spiderweb takedown tool to fight crime. Only on 12, a hoarder house demolition.
And this is what it looked like inside. It was once featured on the A&E show Hoarders. The owners of the home, located near 53rd and Silver Spring, still want to save it. 12 News' Ben Wagner is there live. And Ben, the city is calling this house a hazard.
They are, Patrick and Joyce. A lot of it is because of what is on the inside of this house, but you can see out here tonight what is on the outside. The garage here behind me is full. Take a look here from high above our live truck. This gives you an idea of what this demolition crew has in front of them, but the homeowner says he believes this house should remain standing. Outside this Milwaukee house,
it's just amazing.
A graveyard of busted bikes, street signs, and sewing machines. Some decades old, some
Brought them home and never opened them.
nearly untouched.
I was overwhelmed, to say the least.
And inside, there's hardly a square inch of free space. So much that the city declared the house uninhabitable and issued a raise order. Robert George and his crew are in charge of tearing it down. In your years of doing this, have you ever seen a house like this?
I've been doing this for nearly 25 years, and I've never seen nothing like this. This thing is off the chain.
The house and owner Roger Stank were featured on the A&E show Hoarders in 2016. Stank says he hasn't lived here in years and claims vandals have made the house look worse.
We come back in there and the place is like a nightmare. It's like horrible. I mean, we didn't live not quite as bad as it is or is now.
That's enough.
Demolition workers say they've found dangerous items like ammunition along with gallons of motor oil and gas.
The kids call it a haunted house.
Some neighbors can't wait to see the house and the stray animals hanging around it go.
Kind of like glad, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be around. I know lately, all summer, it's been Cat City over there.
Stank spent thousands in legal fees fighting the raise order, but crews say they're moving forward to bring it down.
Do you think that you're a hoarder?
Apparently, we must have been a little bit.
Well, Ben, they have a lot of work to do. How long do they think it'll take to tear the house down?
Joyce, the demolition crew says they've got about 2 weeks to clear everything here inside the house as well. Afterward, all that will be left here on this plot of land is an empty lot. Joyce.
Ben Wagner leading us off from Milwaukee. Breaking at 10, a bomb threat at the United Community Center near 9th and Washington Streets. The organization works with the Hispanic community. A worker there told us someone called in the threat. That was just after 8 o'clock tonight. Police left the scene about an hour later. They tell us they did not find anything threatening.
Weather Watch 12 now. We're in store for the coldest night of the season so far. Mark, wind chills will drop below zero.
Yes, and temperatures will be in the single digits. Some people will be near zero temperature-wise. So just be ready. It is cooling down in a hurry for tonight. Beautiful shot, though, as we take a look. This is just outside the Manpower Group headquarters there, right along the Riverwalk. Pretty scene. But if you're out and about tonight, it is cold. 16 degrees. That's only part of the story. West-southwesterly winds at 14. That makes it feel like 2. That's it in Milwaukee. Look at some of these other wind chills. 2 degrees below zero Fond du Lac and in Beaver Dam and Madison. 3 degrees below zero in Sheboygan. It feels like 0 in Waukesha. Many of you seeing your coldest temperatures that you've had so far this season. Some of the low temperatures without wind chills will be down to near 0, but I think everybody starts out the day tomorrow with wind chills below 0 when we trade this cold for more snow coming up at Weather Watch 12.
A police detective says a Dunkin' Donuts worker targeted him by spitting in his coffee. And now he's suing the employee and Dunkin' Donuts. 12 News' Derek Rose sat down with the officer's lawyer today.
Derek, he says it was captured on surveillance cameras.
Yeah, Patrick, that's just part of the proof the lawyer says he has. Another part, and perhaps more unsettling, is the officer only realized what happened after he took a sip, then looked inside the cup. It is as plain and unpleasant as a lawsuit can get. Plaintiff was sickened by someone spitting in his cup. That someone, according to the lawsuit, is Brian Colon, a Dunkin' Donuts employee on Pilgrim near Appleton Avenue in Menominee Falls. The plaintiff, Menominee Falls Police Detective Andrew Martin. And according to his lawyer, it was all captured on video. He's not making the video public, but described what he saw.
You see him bend over, and he's above the cup. You can't see him actually spit into it, but there's no reason for him to be in the position he's in, and he later admitted to it.
The detective was not on duty or in uniform, but his lawyer tells me he is a frequent customer. So is it your belief that this happened because he was a police officer?
That's our belief.
Now he's suing for lost wages, medical bills, and emotional distress.
He then has to go get HIV tested. He has to get Hep A tested. He has to, can't have relations with his wife for a certain period of time till he's cleared health-wise.
And in the nearly 2 years since it happened, the lawyer claims Dunkin' Donuts has not apologized or even responded.
It's shocking, it's disgusting, it's sickening, and when Dunkin' Donuts wouldn't even give him the courtesy of a response or us, we said, that's it, all we're left with is a lawsuit.
Derek, does the lawsuit mention anything about what happened before the alleged incident?
It does not, Patrick, but the lawyer told me the employees knew or should have known this was a police officer because of how many times he's been there previously. As for Dunkin' Donuts, no response, Patrick, from the company tonight.
Derek Rose, live in the newsroom. Derek, thank you.
A new warning for sports fans and parents. Wisconsin lawmakers want you to lay off the refs. 12 News' Matt Smith is live at Brown Deer High School. Matt, a new bill is being proposed this week.
Joyce, it would impose harsher sentences for anyone who goes after a ref. Supporters sure hope tonight this would chip away at what they call a growing crisis here in the state. For 35 years,
I really enjoy it.
Jack Fleming has manned the court. And he's also noticed a troubling trend. You've probably seen those viral videos before.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's absurd. We can't go after the refs. No.
New legislation unveiled this week aims to change that by imposing stricter penalties, a misdemeanor, on anyone who harasses, intimidates, or assaults any sporting official.
I do like to get excited, though, and be a part of the game, but sportsmanship is number one, especially when you're dealing with kids.
Wisconsin is one of 17 states without a specific law protecting or supporting refs. The WIAA says a recent survey showed nearly half of all officials say they feared for their safety. Moments like when former Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy chased down officials at his stepson's game in Pulaski. Or parents caught on camera at this wrestling tournament in Kimberly. Majority of officials believe sportsmanship is getting worse.
We're having a difficult time recruiting and retaining officials, and I think part of it is some of the harassment or whatever they may receive at a game, and they'll say, after 2 or 3 years, I don't want to do this anymore, and we lose them.
Well, Matt, with this legislation, what type of penalties are we talking about?
So beyond the punishment for the misdemeanor, the bill would allow a judge to impose up to 40 hours of community service. It is being introduced with bipartisan support.
All right, we will track its progress. Matt Smith reporting live from Brown Deer. Greenfield police need help tracking down thieves caught on camera taking hostages at 2 cell phone stores. One heist happened November 30th at the Verizon store at 76th and Edgerton. Customers were corralled to the back, some including kids as young as 8. The same thing happened again the next morning at the Sprint store at 78th and Layton.
That's a pretty heinous robbery. Robberies in themselves are violent and traumatic. But now you have it when you're ushering people against their will and hurting them, for lack of a better term, into a back room. They have no idea what's going to be happening to them.
The Verizon camera caught one crook's face when his scarf slipped down. If you recognize the suspects, you're asked to call Greenfield Police.
Updating breaking news about an hours-long shootout in Jersey City, New Jersey. Today, 6 people are dead. Among them, a police officer, 3 bystanders, and 2 suspects. Police say it all started with the murder of the officer in a cemetery and included a stolen vehicle.
One stolen U-Haul vehicle that may contain an incendiary device that has since been taken from the location and is being examined by our bomb squad members.
In a tweet tonight, the mayor there says the shooters targeted the kosher supermarket where that shootout happened. Democrats announced 2 articles of impeachment today against President Donald Trump, one for abuse of power, the other for obstruction of Congress. Today, the president insisted again he's done nothing wrong and that impeaching a president with a record like his would be, quote, sheer political madness. The House could vote on the articles next week.
Now to the van versus excavator crash in Mount Pleasant. Body camera video shows us what police saw when they responded to the wrecked vehicle November 24th. It happened on Braun and East Frontage roads. Police say Maurice Henry slammed into the parked machinery in a construction zone, ripping the van's engine compartment in half.
I know, well, you're probably going to go to the hospital, all right?
I know, I was just trying to go home.
I know.
Police ticketed Henry for his first OWI and for operating without a license. According to a report, Henry refused the blood test and said, quote, "You already know I'm drunk."
In Milwaukee County, a freeway crash in the Hale interchange caused headaches during the morning rush. A car and semi collided just before 6 o'clock this morning. Both vehicles broke through the guardrail. The semi spilled rolls of paper onto the ground. Medics responded to treat non-life-threatening injuries. It's not clear which vehicle caused the crash. 2 strangers saved a man having a heart attack at Mitchell International Airport.
And today, he got to say thanks. Michael Bovey met the Good Samaritans who helped save his life. The 2 sprang into action using a defibrillator when they saw Bovey collapse at the baggage claim at Mitchell Airport last month.
Your adrenaline takes over and you know you need to do something and you just do it and you do the best you can do.
We started CPR, we got the pads on him. The AED did its job and analyzed and said shock advised. So we shocked him.
Patrice Starrett is a nurse at Sinai. Mark Loyce, a paramedic in Pleasant Prairie. Bovey, headed in from Florida to deer hunt, doesn't even remember getting off the plane.
The next thing I knew was I woke up in the hospital here that evening. That's all I remember. Very thankful to be here and very thankful for all these people.
His doctor said Bovey was very fortunate the bystanders jumped into action when they did. Next, a shopping spree with the Bucks.
Kids teamed up with the players to cross items off their Christmas lists.
We got some fun stuff we're about to do.
What the kids bought and why the players say they love doing it. Then Stephen Watson on how the Bucks bond off the court helps keep their winning streak alive.
Plus, a Wisconsin man's front yard find that has him flipping through the history books. And the 50 states ranked by healthiness, where Wisconsin stands, and the one category where we came in dead last.
Plus 3 chances for snow over the next 6 days. I'll time it out next in Weather Watch 12.